Hey there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. Today I have for you a beautiful spring to summer grapevine greenery wreath with poppy flowers and a very pretty polka dot bow. This one is beautiful for a front door, of course, and also a patio or a screened-in porch. Love this one, so simple, rich and colorful, beautiful and easy to construct. Welcome to all to my channel today. If you're not currently a subscriber, I hope you will become one. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this tutorial and share this video with friends and family and acquaintances. And as always, your questions and comments are always welcomed. Okay, let's get busy creating this beautiful greenery and poppy flower wreath. Let's look at the items that you will need to create this wreath. Now, I am creating a greenery base wreath here on a grapevine wreath that I get almost always at Walmart. It's 18 inches. They're very good price there. Sometimes you can find them on sale at the craft stores. Now, I created a greenery wreath recently on my channel, and I had a lot of greenery left over, so I'm going to do another one. If you want a slower, more detailed tutorial on how to create the greenery part of the wreath, refer to a recent video I did on making a greenery wreath in my playlist. But otherwise, I'm going to repeat some of those clips where I was instructing how to put this together, but I'm speeding it up a bit if you just want a review. So I have multiple types of greenery, all of which I purchased at Joann's when it was on sale, but Hobby Lobby has beautiful greenery, so does Michael's, so does Amazon. So what I'm going to advise you to do if you're creating a beautiful, lush greenery base is to choose multiple types of greenery with different shades of green, different shapes of leaves, different textures. Now, I placed down, as you can see, my first layer. Now, I'm moving on to another type of greenery, and I'm going to lift the greenery of the first layer and insert some of those greenery pieces in there. Now, I don't want everything layered on top of one another. I want it to look intermingled, if that makes sense. So I lift my greenery and poke it down inside of the grapevine wreath. Some of it I lay on top of the previous greenery that I placed on. I just mix it up because I want that wreath to have a lot of texture and variances in color and different types of leaves demonstrated throughout the wreath. Notice I'm going in a circular pattern, or if you will, a clockwise direction, all the way around the wreath. Now I cut off these stems of leaves of greenery from the main stem, and I poke them down inside of the grapevine wreath. Now, if you feel more comfortable securing them with hot glue, feel free. But I only do that if I'm doing it for a client. Otherwise, I feel that grapevine wreaths are such a great vessel to place greenery, because to just hold on and into that grapevine wreath, and they're really very secure in there. So, it's up to you what you choose to do. So now I'm placing in there a greenery that looks kind of like a eucalyptus. It has a little bit different texture. It's a little bit different color of green. It's definitely a different shape of leaf. So doesn't matter what leaves you choose. Use ones that you find attractive, but try and get different types of leaves, different shapes, different colors, different textures. This is what will create a beautiful greenery wreath base. Now from here, you can actually, it will be so pretty, you can actually leave it like that, and you could just put a bow on it, and it would be gorgeous. But you may want to add florals. Now, for this type of greenery base, I like to add often just one singular variety of a flower. In this case, I'm doing what I think they're poppy flowers. At least that's what they look like to me. Hobby Lobby doesn't label their flowers with the variety type, but to me it looks like a poppy flower, and I love poppy flowers. Now I'm adding in a fern type of greenery. Beautiful to add into a greenery wreath. It really adds visual interest and a beautiful texture. So I trimmed off some of the lower little pieces on that fern piece, and I saved those for very small projects. As you can see right there, I saved those. Oh, they're great for like little tiny projects where you just need a little piece of greenery. And then I'm just going to insert those around. Now, some of these smaller pieces of greenery you can insert along the outer perimeter, some of them on the inner perimeter. Don't neglect the inner side of the wreath and the outer side of the wreath. This is what creates a full, beautiful wreath. And you really want to take advantage of all of that area on that grapevine wreath. It provides such a great base to create a wreath. So I'm just going around my piece, adding a few of these fern pieces in there. Some of the smaller pieces, I do use a little bit of hot glue, which you saw me just do there. The smaller pieces, sometimes when I add them around the outer perimeter, I feel like, if I put a little tab of hot glue, that will hold them better. But for the larger, long pieces, I really don't. I just insert them into the grapevine, and I'm doing this one in a circular pattern, so it's just like a clock, around the wreath. So that's going to look very beautiful with all that greenery. There's my little pieces of greenery. Those will go in a baggie for some other small project where I just need a little touch of greenery. Look how pretty. All those different textures and colors of green. Very pretty. So that was a quickie version of that greenery base wreath, and a little bit of advice on how to create that. I'm showing you here all the different types of greenery, all the different textures. And now here are my flowers. Now, I think these look like poppy flowers. I mean, I could be wrong, but they look a lot like it to me. And I really don't care what they are. I just like them. I just think they're so pretty. Now, I'm actually making this wreath for myself, which is kind of a rare thing, but I am making it for myself because I have a lot of red on my very long L-shaped patio. And I want a pretty wreath with red and green. So I decided I was going to just get some red flowers, which poppies are one that I think are so pretty. And then I was just going to put a pretty polka dot bow on there. Now, I love these little pieces that come on there, the little pods. I guess they're supposed to represent like the flower before it blooms, or whatever. Anyway, I like them. And I do insert those all over the wreath. Now what I'm doing is trimming down my stem because I don't want those flowers on the stem. I want them off in smaller pieces so that I can insert them into the greenery all the way around the wreath. So I went and I had 5 stems of those. I believe I got those at Hobby Lobby during their 40% off week. And I have everything in all its little piles. Now I'm going to make a pretty bow. Now I chose, I like polka dot ribbons. If you follow my channel, you know I love polka dot ribbons. So I'm going to leave about I want to say a 14-inch tail. And I'm just going to create a very big, pretty bow. Now, I chose this green color because it was a beautiful match, and I thought very appropriate for that greenery wreath. Now, as far as this wreath goes, think about the other types of flowers that you could put on here. Once I made a wreath with only daisies on it, with a greenery base like this, it was so pretty. So maybe you might want to just do hydrangeas or tulips or something spring-like, or roses, whatever you like, and then choose a pretty ribbon to go with it. Now, I did not want to try and match the reds, and I actually wanted this green polka dot ribbon. So what I did there on this side while I was talking away there was I cut a piece of 32-inch long ribbon, and I gathered it in the center and wrapped a pipe clean around it because I want a couple of extra tails on my bow. So I'm creating 12-inch loops, and I'm creating this bow in the same manner that I create my large bows. I fold over my loops and pinch it in the center, holding it firmly with my thumb and my index finger. I'm going to create 3 loops on each side. I twist my ribbon so that the right side is up. Now I'm on the opposite side, and I'm going to fold over my loop, trying to achieve the same size as the first loop that I created. Now I can gauge that by simply putting the loops together just like that. And I can tell that I'm right on track as far as size. Now I'm going to go to the other side, fold over my loop in the same size, pinch it in the center, gathering it with my fingertips, checking the size of my loops. If they're too big, I just pull the ribbon back. If they're not big enough, I just pull it forward and make them a little bit bigger. I have bow tutorials. If you're interested in learning to make a bow like I do, I have bow tutorials, very simple ones, all the way up to creating big mixed ribbon bows. So check out my playlist because there's multiple ones on there. Choose one that you think you would like to do, and then look at the other ones as well because you can learn something from each one. All right, now I have 3 loops on one side. I'm going to twist my ribbon and create the 3rd loop on the opposite side. Pinch it in the center, hold it firmly with my thumb and my index finger, checking my loops there. Now I'm going to add a single loop, about 10 inches. I'm going to twist my ribbon and fold over one single loop, this time 10 inches. That's going to rest on the 3 loops on each side. So I fold it over, pinch it in the center. Now I have that single loop, a little bit smaller than the other loops. Now I'm going to create one on the other side. I'm going to twist my ribbon, just like that. Fold it over, the same 10 inches. Pinch it in the center. I want it to be the same size as the one on the other side. And there, I checked it. See how easy that is? Okay, so at this point, I'm going to take a full-size pipe cleaner, wrap it around, bring it around to the back, twist it a couple of times, and now all those loops are secure. And they're taking the place of my thumb and my index finger. Now, to finish off the center of that bow, which I always have a center to all of my bows. I don't leave them open with no center. I either put something in it, decorative, or I fold over a loop. Now I'm going to fold over my ribbon, tuck it under, and form a loop. Did you see how I did that? Let me show you again. Roll it under, and then I take my thumb and put it right down on that loop that I created. Now I'm going to reach around the back, get my pipe cleaner that I used to secure the other loops, bring it around, poke it through that center loop. Now this is going to hold everything all together. Twist it in the back, and now you have a beautiful bow. 3 loops on each side at 12 inches, 1 loop on each side at 10 inches, and then a center loop, cutting off my tails now to match up to my other one. Now one of my tails is on top, so what I need to do is poke that through my center loop, pull it through, and marry it up with the one on the bottom. Now I have that extra set of tails that I'm going to also attach to this bow. Now I need to use a full-size pipe cleaner to attach this bow to the wreath because it's rather thick, not only because it's a grapevine wreath, but because it has all that greenery on there. So I need the length, so I'm going to use a full-size pipe cleaner. So I'm going to take those tails that I created at the onset, and I'm just going to put them on the back of the wreath, and I'm going to separate the tails. See how I'm holding it in the back? Now I'm going to pop a pipe cleaner right down the center of that bow. There it is. Poke it through, wrap it around the back, and now when I wrap it around, it's going to also grab that extra set of tails right in the back where I'm holding it on with my fingers, and I'm going to twist that pipe cleaner very firmly a couple of times in the back, and that's how I'm going to attach that bow to the grapevine wreath. I can cut off any excess pipe cleaner tails back there, although it really doesn't matter. It's going to be pressed up against the wreath and you'll never see it. And now I just have the prettiest bow to go on this wreath. Now I think this wreath could be made for spring. If you would like to do it with daisies, that would be beautiful. You could even use a yellow ribbon with white polka dots. That would be so pretty to match the center in the daisies. Or you could use other flowers. Okay, now I'm going to attach this bow to my wreath. So I'm going to place it very high at 6 o'clock, if that makes sense. This bow, is going to be at 6 o'clock, but I don't place it flat on my wreath. I place it more toward the inner side of the wreath. So I want it perched kind of up on top around 6 o'clock. I think that looks best on a wreath rather than to just attach it flat to the front side of the wreath. So I just pop those pipe cleaners through the grapevine wreath, twist it in the back, and it is now secured to my wreath. Now I'm going to simply take my flowers and pop them here and there in the greenery. Now I try and balance that out. And I also go the same direction as the direction I placed my greenery, which is kind of in a clockwise direction around the wreath. Now, some of my pieces have 2 blooms, some of them have 1. So I just balance that out around the wreath, making sure I address the inner perimeter of the wreath as well as the outer perimeter. And I just want to distribute my flowers evenly and symmetrically around the wreath. Now, you could put as many flowers as you like on here, but sometimes it's just beautiful to just create a greenery wreath with one type of flower, just kind of randomly here and there. But you do you. I mean, I've showed you how to do a greenery wreath. And as I mentioned, I have another tutorial where I do it a little bit slower with a different type of floral pattern if you'd like to. It's an Easter wreath I recently posted. Or you could just do a wreath for spring. Maybe add tulips or Like I mentioned, daisies I think are beautiful on this type of wreath, or whatever you prefer. Now, you can secure these with hot glue if you like, or you could just stick them into the grapevine. If I do something for a client, of course I use hot glue. This one happens to be mine, so probably I won't hot glue it because I like to do transformations on wreaths. I like to, all of a sudden one day, I'll just say, oh, I feel like changing that. And I just pull it apart. Especially a greenery-based wreath like this, all I have to do is pull out the flowers, pop in some new ones, maybe a different color, add a different bow, and bam, I have like a whole new wreath and a whole new look. So, I am just a wreath girl for sure. And I love, love, love a new wreath every now and then. So this is my wreath, and I think it's just lovely. All of that beautiful greenery, my beautiful red flowers, that pretty bow with the trailing tails. I love it. And I hope you do as well. And I hope you feel inspired to make one. Okay, now for the tails. I always angle my tails. Rarely will you see me dovetail. I love the look of angled tails. Now I'm going to do my other tail on the same side, slightly shorter because I like that look of layered tails. And then I'm going to match where I cut off my ribbons on the other side. So they're symmetrical. And look how pretty that layered tail look is. Now I have beautiful tails to hang down from my wreath on the door. Now for a hanger, you could simply attach a pipe cleaner to the grapevine and hang that very easily on your door. I hope you love it. I hope it gives you some ideas for what you might want to create for your door. So remember, please, if you are not currently a subscriber and you enjoy my videos, I hope you will consider becoming a subscriber and tune in each and every week because I post 2 to 3 videos per week, all different types of holiday and home decor. If you love this video, please give it a thumbs up and remember to leave your comments. I love receiving them. Until next time, you all take care.